It's rank. It's awful. My brain is just going, spit it out, spit it out, spit it out. I think my worst fears have been proven right. Hi, I'm Johnny. I run the world's fastest growing wine company. Last year alone, we sold 2 million bottles. Along the way, I've learned a lot about wine, but we're only scratching the tip of the iceberg. Some of them will be cheap, some of them will be expensive. Nico, is this coming up on camera?
2 minutes, international law.
So, welcome to Winedrops. Cheers. The last time in the Winedrops bunker, we discovered that good red wine is good, bad red wine is bad. Now we're back in the next episode to see if the same is true of white wine. I'm a little bit nervous about this because, in my opinion, white wine is way more variable than red wine. So bad red wine, I think, tastes pretty close to the good stuff, whereas bad white wine can taste thin, acidic, vinegary. It can actually taste like a really unpleasant thing to drink. So I'm guessing that the difference between the worst white wine and the best white wine is going to be a much bigger distance. So let's start off with the bad stuff. So I've got this. I wish I could tell a nice story about these wines, but there often is very little you can find online about them. It is the Col del Sol Grecanico, a grape otherwise known as Garganega, and they're often known for being quite lemony, quite light, with a crisp acidity, a nice summer sipper. Not the same can be said about this wine. It is down on Vivino. Let me get the Vivino profile up. It's pretty funny. Okay, ringing in at 2.7, which again is like bottom 1% of world wines. The Col del Sol, remarked by someone as being smells strange, unusual taste. And that's pretty much all there is. So it's everyone is in agreement. This does not smell or taste like a usual Grecanico wine. So let's give this a go. Oh, that does smell weird. Oh, it smells like pickled egg liquor.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
Like, you know, you know when you're in the pub and you smell pickled eggs, like a really dirty pub, stained carpets, a couple of EDL guys at the bar, and you can smell that pickled egg liquor. Okay. There we are. Okay, get that in there. The perils of this video series is I've got to keep it in my mouth long enough to try and pick out something interesting to say, but inside my brain is just going, spit it out, spit it out, spit it out. That is that is weird. Vinegar. It tastes like white wine vinegar, watered down. That is foul. And I think my worst fears have been proven right. The difference between a bad white wine and a good white wine is huge, and I think it is bigger than that between a bad red wine and a good red wine. That is acidic. It's got horrible rubbery aftertaste. It tastes a bit like hooch. It's horrendous. Not much that can be said about that wine. We continue to learn. Bad white wine is bad. Good white wine, however, is a thing of beauty. Oh, look at this. An absolute beauty. It's the Peramanca Branco from Portugal. It's a stunner. Just even from the bottle weight, it just feels like premium. It feels beefy. It feels like the winemaker actually gave a shit when they made this, as opposed to this, where it feels like a byproduct of like a paint stripper factory. So this is special stuff, and it's no surprise really. Cartuxa, or I don't actually know how to pronounce that, but it's spelt Cartuxa. is legend in Portugal. They're one of the older vineyards in Portugal, founded in 1519. Their red wine is the stuff of legend. Comes in at about £300 a bottle. Again, one of the highest rated red wines on Vivino. This is also no pushover. Let me just check out the Vivino profile. 4.7. This is well up there with the very, very best wines. Comes in at £70 a bottle, which is pretty expensive for Portuguese wine. Let's get this open. So this is a blend of Arinto and Antal Vaz. So we're expecting some pretty firm acidity, definitely lemon, and also it's got some age to it. So we're expecting a bit of malolactic fermentation, some creamy, some yeasty, some oaky notes. Should be a real spectacular. Let's get it out. Colour's gorgeous. Colour's absolutely gorgeous. It's a pale lemon. And what's we got on the nose? I'd compare this in nose alone to some of the better Burgundy Chardonnays. It has that nice Amalfi lemon, but also there's a good amount of malolactic flavours in there. So if you're not a wine snob, you won't know what malolactic is. But what that is it's when the wine is aging, we're converting the malic acid to lactic acid. And you don't need to be a wine snob to know lactic acid is present in stuff like milk. And that's exactly what you've got here. You've got creamier notes like butter, like cream, like cheese. Those sorts of notes that really round out the acidity which is present in worse white wines. Smells like a patisserie. Like you're getting apricot, raisin, flaky pastry. Nice. No, I'm not shitting you. Just smell that and imagine you're walking into a bakery. Yeah. It's 13% alcohol, so it's full-bodied. It's gonna coat the mouth. It's gonna feel big, and that's why it's rated highly. The best rated white wines are the wines that have had a crap load of winemaking thrown at it. So they're full-bodied, they're oaky, they're yeasty. That's just what people like. All those flavours that I spoke about, still there. It is so easy to drink. My God. It's like, it's got the ghost of sweetness there. It's not sweet. It's not a sweet wine, but it feels desserty as you're drinking it. And I think that is the absolute hallmark of a really classy white wine, where it feels luxurious, but actually nice acidity, totally dry, it's crisp, it's the best of both worlds. That is nice. It is really opening up. What a wine that is, my God. Paramanca, get in my bed. So let's put them side by side. I'm so sorry, Cold El Sol. You're going to get hammered here. It's outrageous how different these are. So have a butcher's on those. So I think that was the eggy one.
Yeah, definitely. You've got to tell me twice. Yeah.
So I think it's quite harsh. It's quite harsh on Nick, our cameraman, to taste those blind, because I often think sometimes you need the calibration of a really crap wine to recognise a really good wine. It's only real wine enthusiasts who I think can smell a wine and say that's good or that's bad. I often need the calibration of something that's worse and something that's better. But this is an unusual case, because this genuinely smells quite strange, quite synthetic, not wine. Whereas that is gorgeous. Honey, it's really like enveloping in the glass. like a big yellow onion. A lot nicer than a big yellow onion. And when we taste them side by side, can't tell you how thin and vinegary that is. It's rank. It's awful. I had too much of that in my mouth when I put that in my mouth. So it was like, still bad. But this, on a virgin palate. Worlds apart. This is a bloody good wine. This is a bloody bad wine. And if you watched until the end, I'm sorry, because we basically spelled out the conclusion when we started. But again, we go further into breaking the boundaries of wine journalism, and we figure out that in white wine, as well as red, bad wine's bad, good wine's good.